What's up, team? It is your biggest fan, the real Casadero, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to use PowerShell. So, the first thing we're going to do is if we hit the Windows key, it'll bring up the Windows bar, and we can type Power, and it'll show us PowerShell. We can either click it, and it'll open PowerShell normally, or we can right-click and go Run as Administrator, or we can go click down here, Run as Administrator, and then PowerShell has some cool tools like the ISC as Administrator, and then just the ISC is a scripting environment that you can use with PowerShell, but I never use it. Another way you can do it is if you right click on this window down here and you go up to Run, you can type PowerShell here, PowerShell, and hit OK, and it should open PowerShell. And if you are on a Windows machine that doesn't have PowerShell, or you're on some sort of other operating system like Mac or Linux, which does have PowerShell, what you're going to want to do is you're going to head over to, actually, let's go start Firefox. If you head over to therealcasadero.com and go up to Resources, and go down to Terminal, it'll take you over to the PowerShell website, which is actually docs.microsoft.com-en-us/PowerShell. All right, so here this is all kinds of stuff. So there's tutorials here. There's how to use PowerShell with Azure, the module browser for PowerShell modules. There's PowerShell in GitHub, get started with Windows, PowerShell, blah, all this stuff. Setup and installation is what you're going to be looking for. And if you click there, it'll take you to the page, and you can pick which one you want. So you can get PowerShell Core for Windows, Linux, Mac, or ARM. So ARM is going to be, those are like mobile, ARM processors or mobile processors, and I don't know exactly what fully blown operating systems are running ARM. I guess you could put PowerShell on like on Raspberry Pis or Arduinos and stuff like that. So look, Raspbian. So you can this is a shell environment that you can put anywhere. So if you don't have PowerShell, just pick your operating system, go download PowerShell, and then come back. All right, team. So we are back. All right, the first command I'm going to teach you guys is a clear command. So if you type CLEAR, that'll clear the screen. And if we do a I think clear is an alias for something else. I'm not positive. There's a way to find aliases, like if we do a git-alias and then type clear up. It tells us clear host. So host is the screen. So like if we wanted to write something to the screen, we would type write host, and if we want to clear something, you can type clear host, or you can just type clear. All right. Or you can type CLS, which is probably a alias for some other command. All right, so here, before we do that, let me make this bigger. So I'm going to go Properties. I'm going to go Font Size, and let's take this up to 24, okay? So it's a little bigger. So let's see what directory in. To do that, we do a git location. That'll tell us the directory in. So we're in the construct. This is my projects directory, and if we type a git-child item, and we can tab complete everything. So when I say tab complete, so like we can type git-chil, and then if we hit tab, it'll bring up the most likely answer for us. Now if there's a bunch of different things with similar names, like if we do a git c, there's all kinds of stuff, and so we could tab forever. But if we have some sort of idea of what we're looking for, if we just type the first few letters and hit tab, it'll complete. So get child item lists everything in a directory. Now let's say we want to start a new project. Well, actually, what's in this web projects folder? If we do a git-child item space, and then we give it a parameter. So if we hit tab, so our parameter here is going to be path. We can type web project and then tab complete. So I just typed WEB and then hit tab. it'll show us inside what's inside of that folder. So we have this index.html file that's in here. If we want to see what's inside of this HTML file, we could do this. We could do a get dash content and then give it a parameter, and this parameter, I don't know exactly what parameter I'm looking for, so if we just type dash and then hit tab, we can see all the parameters that are available for a particular command. And this parameter is going to be path again, and path means where's this thing at you're looking for. So let's see if we can find it. I just saw it. Path. And then we're going to type the path, and we know that what we're looking for is in the web project folder, so we just type WEB, hit tab, web projects, and then we type IND and hit tab, and it will show us that file. And it's going to tell us what's inside of that file. All right, so as we can see, there's some HTML inside of that file. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this HTML and we're going to copy it to a different file. All right, so we're going to hit clear, and so clear the screen. Now in PowerShell, all of our commands are still here. So if we hit the up key, every command that we've typed up to this point is in memory. And if we hit if we type get history, HISTORY, it'll show us the history. So this is every command that we've typed since we've started PowerShell. And we can access any of these commands by either typing R and then the number of the command. And what will happen is it'll run that command again. So if we type R10, it'll run that command and show us. And so and it tells us the command was get content at path web projects index.html. Also, in addition to that, we can, if we do a number and then the number of the history and hit tab, it'll just write it on the command line. So then we can add to it or take stuff away or do whatever we want to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the content from this path, and then we're going to pipe it to our clipboard. So pipe, think of pipe as like an actual pipe. Like this is a tunnel to something else we want to do. So get content is going to look at the path that we give it, which is this path, and it's going to see if this is a file, and if it understands that file, it's going to try to read the stuff that's in it. So it's going to read the stuff in that file, and we're saying we don't want you to print it to the screen. We want to do something else with it. So put it in this pipe, and on the other side of that pipe, we're going to say what command we want to happen. So in this case, we're going to go clip. And I don't know if this is an alias or anything, but this is going to copy all of this stuff to the clipboard. So once we have that in the clipboard, we can add it. We can put a semicolon, and we can actually. This is what we'll do. We'll take. So we can add all of this stuff to the clipboard, but what we're going to do is we're going to put all of this into a variable. So we're going to go this, and we're going to go content. So in PowerShell, variables start with $signs. And if you don't know what a variable is, just think of it as a container where you can store stuff. So inside of this container, we're going to store whatever is returned by get content at the path that we gave it. And when that's returned, we're going to copy it to the clipboard. And we're going to put all of this whole command is going to go inside of here. So when we call this variable, it's going to take whatever all of this stuff was. So basically, it's going to say, this stuff that was at this path, we have that in memory. Let's add it to the clipboard for this dude. Or actually, this command is going to go into the clipboard. So, and you know what? Since we're putting this into a variable, we don't even need it to go to the clipboard, because we're just going to store all this content inside of this variable anyway. All right, so now inside of this variable content, if we type content, and we can tab complete our variables too, it has all the same stuff. All right, so now that we have that stored in content, we can get rid of that file. So if we hit up a couple times again, we want to delete this file. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back here, and we are going to say delete. And delete is an alias for, I think, remove item. So let's go remove-item. And we hit enter. That file is gone. Doesn't exist anymore. Well, actually, CD web project. So CD is to change into a directory. So if we go CD web projects, and we can tab complete again. We can go into the directory, and as you can see, there's nothing there. To get out of this directory, if we do a git location, look, we're all the way in. We're on the C drive in the users folder. I'm the user, Kwame. That's my middle name. Inside of the construct folder, and we're inside of the web projects folder. Now, if we want to go out to this folder, we type cd ... And this is going to take us up one directory. So this is going to pop us out of this directory and put us in the construct directory. So if we hit enter, we're now in the construct directory. Now, let's say we want to delete this. So this is PowerShell. What we can do is we can double tap this and right click. And now this is copied to the clipboard. And we can say delete. And if we right click again, we can paste and we can delete that item. So now when we do a dir, that item doesn't exist anymore. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you guys how to make. We're gonna use PowerShell to make a basic web development project. So let's give the name of our folder. We're going to make that a variable. So we're going to go project folder. Project folder is equal to new project. And actually, because this is going to be a string, we have to put it in quotes. So we go new project. And then after we make that, so now we've got our variable, and it's going to be stored in new project. We're going to make another variable, and we're going to call that HTML. I'm thinking we'll just type the rest of them out. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a directory. So we're going to go mkdir, and we're going to name that new project, which is inside of this project folder variable. So we'll just go project folder. And let's change the name of this so it's spelled right. All right, so new project. We're going to make a directory called project folder. And then inside of that folder, we're going to make some more directories. So we're going to go make directory. Actually, we'll go make directory project folder /JS project folder, not slash, but comma, not JS, but CSS, and let's make an image folder. So we'll go project folder dash img. So what's going to happen is, so PowerShell is going to take this string, it's going to put it inside of this variable, and then it's going to make a directory that's named whatever's inside of this variable. And then, so it's going to use whatever's inside of this variable, and it's going to append the /JS to it. So we're going to have a JavaScript directory, and we're going to end up with the CSS directory. We're going to have a image directory. But before we do all of that stuff, we want to make the project folder directory. So we'll go make project folder. Yeah. So project folder. All right, so it's going to make the project folder, and then inside of the project folder, it's going to make a JavaScript folder, and inside of the project folder again, it's going to make a CSS folder, and then inside of the project folder again, it's going to make a image folder. Now let's go down here to the end. And we're going to say after you've made all of those folders, we want to make a file. So we're going to go new item. And that item is going to be index.html. And we also want to make an item inside of the JavaScript folder. So we can go projects.js. And then we'll call this app.js. And then inside of that, well, in our CSS folder, we're going to make a folder called CSS. Project folder CSS dash styles.css. All right, so we're going to make our HTML file, we're going to make our JavaScript file, we're going to make our CSS file, and then we want to that text that we had, we want to put it inside of our index. We want to put it in our index HTML. So here we can go we go add content to index.html. Actually, add content. Index.html doesn't exist yet, so we have to just type it out. Index.html. And that content is going to be the content that we stored up here inside of content. Actually. All right, so now our content is going to be added to our file, and then we want to look at it, so we'll go start index.html. So what's going to happen here? PowerShell is going to create a variable, is going to put this string in the variable, then is going to make a project folder called whatever is in this variable here, which is, so the projects folder is going to be named new projects. So it's going to make a folder called new projects. And inside of that new projects folder, there's going to be a JavaScript folder and a CSS folder and an image folder. And once all these are made, and what's happening is we're saying make these in succession. So we're giving PowerShell an array. This is an array of items that we want PowerShell to do something with. So it's gonna say, so what it is looking at is looking at its parameters. It's saying, okay, I need to make a directory. What is it going to consist of? And it sees an array and it goes, okay, I need to make a directory for each of these values in this array. And if you don't know what an array is, you will at some point. And then after that, we're going to make a file. We're going to call it index, and it's going to be in the base directory. So whatever directory we're in now is where it's going to make this file. And then inside of the projects folder, it's going to make an app.js file, and inside of the CSS folder is going to make a CSS file, and then it's going to take the content that we stored in that variable in the content variable, and it's going to add that content to this HTML file, and then it's going to open the web browser so we can see it. And what will happen is if there's any errors, PowerShell is going to tell us what those errors are, and it's going to print them in red. If there's no errors, then it'll just go back to the command prompt. And if there's a warning, then the warning will be in yellow. So we'll hit enter and see what happens. Enter. So PowerShell does all of that stuff. It opens the web browser. And here we have hello world twice. And this is because I believe we have I think there's two HTML statements inside of that file. But that's PowerShell. Now let's say, for instance, so if we do a dir, we've got our index file here, which is all wrong, but that's fine. Let's see, code export, tab tracker, tab. Where is it at? New project. So if we say cd, change directory into our new project, then hit dir, then we have all our files here. Now, what's interesting, right, is I put this in the wrong place, which is a good thing because you're going to learn how to move stuff. So we have our index file. So let's go back to our construct folder. So if we do a cd ... it'll take us up one directory, and now we're in the construct folder. Here we have our index file. So what we're going to do is just going to double click this, right click, and we're going to copy that. And we're going to say move item. And we want to move that item from here. So we're going to move the item, and actually if we go path, and this is saying the path is in the same path that you're in. So you guys are in the same directory, but we're going to move this to a destination, and our destination is going to be the new project. So we just type new, then hit tab, and it brings up new project. And if we were moving a directory, we would want to move everything that's in the directory and not just one file. So if we were moving a directory and we wanted to move all of the contents of that directory and all of the contents in its subdirectories, then we would use the recurse parameter, which is -rec. And I don't think it's letting us do recurse because index.html isn't a directory. So what we're going to do is, this is what we'll do. So we'll go ahead and move this. So this item is moved dir, and it is inside the new projects folder. So let's make a new folder, and let's say, for instance, we need a bin directory, a place to store like scripts and stuff. So we can do mkdir, which is new directory, or we could use new item. And if we can feed it a parameter, an item type, which would be a folder, I believe, or a container. Item type container. And we have to give it a name, of course. Actually, item type dash. We have to give it a name, so we'll call it bin. And now it creates a container that's named bin. And let's say we want to put something in the bin container, so we can go, let's go new item, item type, file. And that file is going to be app.js. And then we'll feed it a parameter, actually. So we got our item type here, which is a file. And then it would normally ask us for a name, app.js. And now the parameter is the path. So where do we want this to go? We want this to go into the bin folder. All right. So now we have a folder called bin. So if we do a dir bin, we have a folder named bin, and it has this file in it. Now, if we copy bin to a different directory, it won't copy all of the files in it. So check this out. So we'll go copy bin, and we'll copy it to our new project. And if we go into the new project folders, cd new project, and go into the bin folder, cd bin, and then do a dir. So here I use a semicolon to separate these commands. So I'm saying go into the bin folder and then do a dir. So it's going to go into the bin folder, then show us what's inside. There's nothing in there because when we copy a file, when we copy a folder, all of the content of the folder isn't copied. Just the folder name is copied. I don't know why it does that. It's weird. But PowerShell gives us a lot of power to do a lot of different things. So what we can do is we can go, so we know this bin folder is here. We can cd out of here, dir, and we want to copy everything that's in this file, right? We want to copy all of this stuff. So what we can do is we can go remove item from, actually, dir. Yeah, so let's get out of our new project. So we'll go cd dot dir. All right, so we can remove item. Then this is the same as saying delete. And we're going to remove that item from the path, new project, bin, remove item, new project, bin. And that should be it. It should just delete that bin folder that's inside of the new project folder. So now if we go back into the new project folder, cd, new project, dir, there's no bin folder. It's all gone. So cd ... to go back to our construct folder, do a dir so we can see all that stuff. Now we want to copy all of this stuff. So what we'll do is we'll go back to our previous command just by hitting the up key. All right, so here we want to copy the bin object to the new projects folder, or the bin folder to the new projects folder, and these are both objects, and we'll get more into that later on. So we want to copy this into this, and to make it a little simpler, because PowerShell doesn't make you always put all the parameters, so we can say copy the container bin to path should be one of the options it gives us, but oh, copy isn't an actual command. I'm sorry. Copy item container to path. There we go. To destination. All right, so we're going to copy the item at dot bin path to the destination new project, but then we're going to add one more copy dash path to destination. Sorry about that. DST in nation. And then we're going to do a recurse. And what recurse does is it says copy this and everything that's inside of that folder and everything that's inside of any other folders that are inside of that folder, and it goes on and on and on forever until everything gets copied. So if we do that, nothing fancy happens here. We can go into the bin folder, so we can go cd bin, not cd, we go cd new project bin. So now we're in the bin folder, do a dir, and now we have our app.js there. Now the last thing I want to do is I want to show you guys how to move stuff. So if we go cd dot dot, see what location we're in, new projects, cd dot dot. All right, and if we run our command where we delete it, remove path new project item bin. All right, so now there's a folder in there, and it's asking us, like, hey, man, right? First you were going to delete an empty folder. That was the first time around. But now you want to delete a folder that has some stuff in it. If you do this, you can't get this stuff back. Is that what you want to do? And that's why you should always read what PowerShell asks you, because maybe it should make this in red, but it doesn't. I don't know. But anyway, but we do, and the default is yes. So if we hit enter, it's just going to delete that folder. And now, so if we do a dir new project, that bin folder, it's not there anymore. It's gone. Let's say we want to move the bin folder. You guys have probably figured this out by now. So we can go move bin, and so the path. So we can go move path bin to destination new project. And then after we do that, we want to see what's in the new project folder. So we do dir new project. And here's a special bonus. We can look for specifically one specific thing. So we can look for anything that says bin. So it's going to take this bin folder, it's going to move it to the new projects folder, and then it's going to show us the new projects folder, but it's only going to show us the thing in the directory that has the name that we're looking for. So we're saying, so what this is a regular expression, and this is saying show us everything that has these three letters in it in this order, bin. It doesn't matter if and actually let's do this just to make this fun for you guys. All right, so we'll do this. Go C, and let's get out of here. And what I did was I copied that command. So inside of our new project folder, we're just going to make a bunch of items. So we're not going to make a bunch of items. We're going to make another item with the name of bin in it. So we'll go new item. Our path is going to be new project, and the item is going to be actually new item name. Item type is going to be file, and the name is going to be the big bin of files. Don't want to do it like that? Yeah. All right, so we got the big bin of files inside of our project folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring back that other command. Now, if we do dir new project and then star bin star is going to show us the big bin of files. The big bin of files, but that's the only file that's in the, well, it's not the, it's the only file that's in that directory right now. So let's say, for instance, in this directory, we just want to see stuff that's tab. We can do dir this path, show me all files that contain tab, and it'll just show us the stuff with tab. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our other command back. So if we right click, so we're going to move bin to the new project folder, and then we're going to look at everything that has bin in it. But because we know we have the big bin of files inside of that other folder, if we take this out, it's only going to look for files that start with bin. It doesn't matter what they end with, but they have to start with a B and an I and an N. So even though there's going to be two files in this folder that contain the three-letter combination of bin, we're only going to see the one that starts with bin. All right, so it has moved the bin to the destination and is showing us that the bin is there. If we do a dir, because right now we are in our construct folder, if we do a dir, bin doesn't exist here anymore. It's in the new projects folder. So if we go cd new projects dir, now we have bin here, and if we look inside a bin, dir bin, bin has one app.js file in it. And our index file, of course, has some HTML in it. And look, we still have the big bin of files. Now, if we cd out of here, because we're done and we don't need this work anymore, we can just throw it away. So what we'll do is we can double click this, right click it, it's copied to the clipboard. We can go remove item, paste it, do a dash force, and because we are admins in this PowerShell session, it's not going to prompt us like, so we'll do this. So if we go remove, it'll give us a prompt, and we'll say, no, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. So we go no, and it'll still be there. Dir new projects. The bin file, the bin folder is still there. But if we bring that command back and we do dash force, it's not going to ask us. It's just going to delete it. Oh, it asked us. I wonder why I did that. The item has children. Oh, see, if we do a recurse dash recurs, it should ask us here. Oh no, there we go. So it just deletes it. So even if we do, and I didn't know this, even if we do a dash force on a directory, if it contains stuff, it asks us, do we want to delete that stuff? But if we add a recurse at the end, PowerShell assumes that we know what the hell we're doing, and it just wants us to delete all of that stuff. So if we do a dir new projects, we deleted, that was my plan. We deleted the whole new projects folder. So now we're right back where we started, team, and that is it. That is the basic, super duper introduction to PowerShell, and that should get you started. That should give you a way to navigate around and get around in PowerShell. Now, if you are interested in a training that is a little more in depth, then what you want to do is you want to head over to codemarketcell.com, and there you will find a complete in-depth training on all of the stuff that you saw me here do today, and much more. So I'll show you how to write functions in PowerShell, how to write PowerShell scripts, and then also as a part of a larger course, I will go over HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I'll teach you how to build websites from the ground up. So from knowing nothing to being able to navigate around in PowerShell to being able to build HTML files, build web pages, build web applications, and then in programming. So I'll teach you how to code. In this course, it's the ultimate course. So you'll learn how to code a product or a service. You know how to plan a product or a service. You know how to code it. You know how to market it, and you know how to sell it. All right, team. So again, if you want that course, go over to codemarketsell.com. Take advantage of the special offer that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Until next time, I'm your biggest fan. You have greatness within you. I'm the real Casadero. Time to get back to work, team. I will see you guys later.